From first buddy to next of kin is a cage of death match imminent between Musk and Trump. How dangerous is it to really agree to be in a movie? Do you need another mortgage just to have a pet? 10 things that happened 10 years ago this week. Does your bladder have the ability to do Jedi mind tricks? The President of the United States, the world's richest man. It's all coming up on SmackDown. Let's Mad Libs it. One of the wildest 24 hours that I can even remember recently, or even not recently. Wow, we got a lot to get to. Like, share, subscribe. I'm a new channel. Do that bell thing so you know when I update. And always starting with rapid fire randoms. The first appearance of Cookie Monster was in an IBM training film in 1967. Trick birthday candles that reignite after you blow them out have been banned in Canada since 1977. Star Wars by George Lucas was going to be originally titled The Journal of the Whills. He then changed it to Adventures of the Star Killer as taken from The Journal of the Whills. Fortunately, we just went with Star Wars. In the 1930s in England, one of the only ways that a woman could get a divorce was if her husband was impotent. So there was an actual job for someone who would inspect men's junk to determine if their wives' claims were true. Barbra Streisand is the only person who's had a #1 album in 6 decades. People in 1964 was her first. Her 6th was Encore. Movie partners sing Broadway in 2014. Later this month, Barbara can go for 7 when she releases her next album, The Secret of Life, Partners, Volume 2. The mood ring and the thigh master were co-invented by the same man, Joshua Reynolds, who also happens to be one of the heirs to the R.J. Reynolds Tobacco Company. The producers of Gone with the Wind were fined $5,000 for using the word damn in the movie. Destiny's Child was originally called Girls' Time and had 6 members. The shopping cart was first introduced in 1937. It was invented by Sylvan Goldman, the owner of the Humpty Dumpty grocery chain in Oklahoma City. No one liked it. Men found them to be effeminate. Women found them to be suggestive of a baby carriage, and not in the good way. But they eventually became a hit, because somehow you gotta carry your groceries. And Sylvan became a multi-millionaire off of his royalties from the design. Nebraska is the only triple landlocked state, which means it doesn't touch an ocean. The states bordering it don't touch the ocean, and the states bordering them don't touch the ocean. Vern Troyer, aka Mini-Me from the Austin Powers movies, was raised Amish. Trump and Elon explode. Here's the tale of the tape. The president and owner of a Tesla.
Everything's computer.
Versus the richest Nazi sympathizer in the world. We knew it was coming. Now they have finally exploded in true Wrestlemania-type action. Oh, yeah! Elon got the first jab, but with calling the big, beautiful bill an abomination. Trump remained shockingly and uncharacteristically quiet until responding on TV. While watching on TV, Elon attacked, saying Trump wouldn't be the president without him. He should be impeached. Trump responded with threatening government subsidies to Musk as the two went back and forth with the intensity of 2 middle school cheerleaders over a boy. This was an obvious, bitter divorce of their arrangement. Question, who gets custody of Hitler? The biggest bombshell that was right up there with the breaking news that water is wet. Elon said the Epstein files wouldn't be released because Trump is all over them. Everyone from Kanye to Jake Paul, a registered Republican, says it's not just a bad look for Republicans, but bad for America. He also might be trying to set up his next fight as a thruple. Elon lost $34 billion in stocks. Trump didn't look good either. The Real Housewives of Mar-a-Lago wasn't a win-win for anybody. Maybe for us. Movie sets can be dangerous places. Here are some examples. Brendan Fraser was almost suffocated for real during a scene in The Mummy where they tried to hang him. Similar, Michael J. Fox actually lost consciousness when a hanging scene went really wrong in Back to the Future Part 3. Almost 100 people were poisoned on the set of Titanic when someone spiked their chowder with PCP. Leonardo DiCaprio and Kate Winslet weren't working on that day. The culprit has never been caught, but James Cameron says he has a, quote, pretty strong suspicion who was behind it. Isla Fisher almost drowned during a water tank escape trick in Now You See Me because a release chain got caught in her costume. The hair and makeup guy was kidnapped from the set of 1996 Romeo and Juliet in Mexico. They only had to pay $300 to get him back. Actor Vic Morrow and 2 Vietnamese child actors were killed while filming 1982's Twilight Zone the movie when a helicopter crash landed on them. Jim Caviezel was struck by lightning while filming the Sermon on the Mount in The Passion of the Christ. You would think they would take that as a sign of some sort. Bo Derek was attacked by a lion for realsies during the filming of Tarzan, the Ape Man. Telling your kids to use the bathroom just in case is a popular move before a long trip, but would you be better off risking it or even letting them pee their pants? The New York Times did a story on how using the bathroom when you don't have to isn't the best strategy. The term for it is proactive avoiding, and if you do it too often, you can train your mind to always think that it's time to go. They talked to a neurologist at Penn who said doing it every once in a while is okay, but if you do it often, your bladder starts telling your head you need to pee when you don't really need to. The average adult bladder can hold about 2 to 3 cups of pee-pee, 2 for women, 3 for dudes, but we generally feel the urge to go when it's less than half full. Just in case peas can bring it down even further to a point where you're constantly making bathroom trips. Going to when you don't need to can also cause straining, which can weaken your pelvic floor. So that's another reason not to do it. The good news is, if it ever does happen, you can always retrain your brain. Another expert dubbed it mind over bladder. He's really the comic of the experts. He's the jokester. If you think just in case peas have trained you to pee too often, they suggest dealing with it by distracting yourself, doing deep meditative breathing, or hyping yourself up like, I'm in control of when I pee. 10 things that happened 10 years ago this week. The website, The Topical Fruit, posted a list of 10 things that happened 10 years ago this week, and it makes you realize just how quickly time passes. Here was what was in the news exactly 1 decade ago this week. Caitlyn Jenner introduced herself to the world. Her famous Vanity Fair cover landed June 1st, 2015, with the headline, Call Me Caitlyn. Kim Kardashian revealed she was pregnant again. It was her second of 4 kids with her ex-husband and former sane person, Kanye West. Their son Saint was born that December. Thongs were leaving fashion. The New York Times did a story on how thong sales were slipping. I see what you did there. Women were opting for granny panties instead. YouTube's 10th birthday video was trending. It marked the 10th anniversary of YouTube's beta version, launched in May 2005. They recently announced that there are now over 20 billion videos on YouTube, 5 of which people actually watch. The Duggars were in Meltdown. Remember them? Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar from 19 Kids and Counting did their very first interview following the news that their oldest son, Josh, had improperly touched 4 of his younger sisters. The show was canceled a month later. Tracy Morgan did his first interview a year after he almost died in that terrible Walmart semi-related car crash. Sadly, his longtime collaborator, James McNair, did not survive the crash. IHOP updated their logo to make it happier. They decided their old one looked like a very sad face, so they gave it a smiley face instead. A guy's long neck mugshot went viral. He was accused of stealing $3,000 worth of antique coins, but the only question anyone was asking was, how is his neck that long? The Broadway cast of The Lion King and Aladdin got stranded in an airport and just decided they were going to do an epic sing-off. The trailer for Sharknado 3 landed 10 years ago this week. They ended up making 6 of them. Why? We have no idea. 6 in 5 years, from 2013 to 2018. Owning a cat or dog, $20,000. Remember that number. The next time your dog poops on the floor, it's going to sting even more. A new study found owning a pet costs way more than people think, and the price tag just keeps going up. People were asked how much they think that it costs to care for a cat or a dog for 10 plus years. For cats, the average answer was $5,735. Dogs, $8,158. Oh, the real numbers, far more likely 3 times that. Caring for a cat now costs anywhere from $20,000 to $47,000 over the course of their lifetime. Dogs, $22,000 to just under $61,000. Fido, get a job, you deadbeat. That's an average of at least $1,300 a year for cats, $1,500 for dogs. They say even something like a rabbit could cost over $1,000 annually. The cost for dogs has gone up about 12% in just the past 3 years. What hasn't? 19% for cats. Having multiple pets does save a little bit on the per pet basis, but not a lot. So does this mean we are poised to start living pet free now that we have the numbers? Don't count on it. More than 75% of pet owners say they think of their dog or cat as a family member, a best friend, or even their child. 24% of dog owners say their child, compared to 21% of cat people. 4 myths about dropping your phone in the pool. Summer is on the horizon, which means a lot of pool days, beach days, potentially wet cell phones. If you ever accidentally hopped in a pool with your phone in your pocket, here's what always bothers me in movies or TV shows when they're playing a prank and they just shove somebody in the pool. My first thought is always, what if their phone is in their pocket? Nobody else? Okay, just me. Is it really not a big deal anymore? We've seen tons of stories about people's iPhones being submerged in water and then working just fine, but they may not really be fine. The website The Conversation just did a list of wet cell phone myths. There are 4 of them to be aware of that are the most prevalent. Number 1, my phone turned on, so it's okay. It's obviously a good sign, but it doesn't always mean you're in the clear. Any moisture inside your phone could cause corrosion. It could take days, weeks, months to actually see the effects. Myth number 2, my phone is waterproof. No, it's not. Most phones are water resistant, but how resistant they actually are depends on the phone. The term waterproof isn't really used because phones generally aren't completely safe from water damage. Myth 3, my warranty will cover it. Most out-of-the-box warranties don't cover water damage. You have to buy an additional warranty, and even those have limitations. Myth number 4, the old reliable rice hack. Don't put your phone in a bag of rice to soak up the moisture. It doesn't work well, and particles from the rice can get in your phone and cause even more damage. You're better off powering down your phone, removing the battery, and if you can, letting it dry out and soak overnight. Finally, a woman woke up to an intruder sucking on her toes. If someone says they're not into you, this probably isn't the best way to win them over. Weird dude in California is facing charges after he broke into a woman's house and woke her up by sucking on her toes. It happened May 21st near Modesto, but police are just now sharing the details on Facebook. 27-year-old Christian Angiano had allegedly been harassing the woman for months, more likely stalking her. He'd followed her home from work, even slept outside her place in his car 2 Wednesdays ago. She woke up around midnight to find him at the edge of her bed with her toes in his mouth. after he tried to get in bed with her, but she pushed him, called 911, and he ran off. Cops didn't find him that night, but tracked him down the next day in the same area. He apparently tried to come back, even after the toe sucking didn't go over like he thought. He's facing charges for burglary, stalking, sexual battery, and assault with intent to commit a felony. Let's see. Noun, adjective, verb. We've got ourselves a completed Mad Libs. This is called First Date Advice. It's available on Adult Mad Libs on Amazon or wherever you get books.
First dates can be a wild ride, right? You might see Amish fireworks or feel like you're exploding. So, here's some tips to keep you ready. Bring extra cheerleaders, just in case you need a thruple ride home. Keep your cell bladder charged, but don't obsess over viral messages. If it's a blind date, don't judge if they look more James Cameron than Bo Derek. Dress smart. No tight pants if you're going toilet climbing. And remember, don't let them think you'll suck on the first date.